Ashwin, welcome to the quiz.
Hi, Sai, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Hi, Navin, welcome to the quiz.
Hi.
Hi. Hey, Hari.
How many registrations have we got so far, Sai?
We've got just above 85.
Hear me?
Yes, we can.
Nice.
Hi, Navin, welcome to the quiz.
Hi.
Wait 1 second. The lag is... I'm just sharing the YouTube live stream link with you folks on the WhatsApp.
How many registrations have we got so far, Sai? There's
We've
a lag.
got just above 85.
Hear me?
Hey, Navin, there was a lag between the YouTube live stream and myself. Hey, Hari. Hi, Ashwin. We have some participants already. Anand, PK, Arun, Chandrasekhar, Ashwin. Incidentally, they're all A's. I don't know if they're letting in by alphabetical order. Hey, Hirak. Hey, Vedang. Welcome to the quiz. In the meanwhile, okay, let me just make everyone co-host. Hi, Ananya. Hi, Archana is here with us. Welcome, Archana.
I seem to have joined with Archana's name on my thing. I don't know why.
Okay. Sure. You should be able to rename yourself. Shall I do it for you? Just a second.
Yes, please.
Did you by mistakenly like?
Yeah, I think.
Maybe.
Hi, Vikram.
Would you be able to?
Hi, Navin.
Hi.
Thanks so much.
Excuse me. Welcome to the quiz, folks. Ashwin has asked us a question. Where is the name option or renaming option? Ashwin, if you can just unmute yourself, we should be able to guide you. We have a minute to kill, so to speak. Ashwin, can you unmute yourself, please?
Yeah, now it's unmuted. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So essentially, if you go to the participants tab on Zoom, and I'm using this as an example for everyone else who's on the call. If you go to the participants tab on Zoom, you should be able to see the list of people with your name on it and the attendee section. Can you see that?
You can't see a participants tab. There's only a chat, raise hands, and a Q&A. By the way, just usually it comes on the bottom, but I guess you guys have disabled it or something. But we can't see the participants.
We've actually enabled allow participants to rename themselves. I have actually enabled that. Let me just disable enabled again. Hopefully it will work then. I have done that. Can anybody in the participants confirm this? Yatin, Shravya, Saundarya, any of you, can you just, Salil, Welcome to the quiz.
Can't see the participants anywhere.
Okay. Can you do me a favor then? On the chat window, when you click on the chat, you should be able to get an option.
Yeah, only panelists and attendees.
Yes, if you see attendees there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you click on your name, you should be able to get a drop-down option for saying rename yourself. In the more section, when you hover the cursor on your name, you will get an option which says more, and bottom when you go, scroll down, you'll say chat and rename.
No, I don't see the option.
Salil, please do not use the Q&A option. I'll run you through the rules in a second.
Yeah.
It's 3:47. Let me begin with the rules. Welcome everyone to the Great India Quiz, the third edition. We're doing this with Dr. Navin Jayakumar. I will take you through the rules for the next 13 minutes, after which Dr. Navin will take over the quiz and run you through with the question, with the first question.
It is a particular country's national sport.
Is it Mexico because they're getting a war?
Oh wow.
The Bengali word for a particular kind of dysentery.
Saurav Ganguly.
Let the stereotypes begin. Anyone wants to tell who Nurjan was?
She was the one for whom they built the Taj Mahal.
Welcome to today's Africa is a country moment.
Which is the oldest Indian curry?
I have a sambar that's about 5 days old in my fridge.
What is common to Gurmeet Ram Rahim and Daenerys Targaryen?
After the last question, it is the highest grossing.
So who invited him to this quiz?
Nepotism.
Sai, you're on mute. Hello.
Apologies.
Hello.
So like I was saying earlier, the Great India Quiz format for today allows everybody, each and every participant to win prizes on every single question, right? So we're not looking at an overall championship trophy. What we're looking at is essentially the first 5 correct answers that come in at every question will win Amazon vouchers, right? Not just that, one of the things that Dr. Navin always said that one of our earlier quizzes is that there are no such thing as wrong answers. There are only alternate facts. So we have prizes at every question, not just for the correct answers, but also for the best wrong answer, or as what we call as alternate facts. We also have prizes for the best fun facts, which means after the question has been answered correctly, we will open up the chat and voice answers for sharing related interesting facts related to this question or to the answer, right? So feel free to guess interesting wrong answers or funny answers, as well as give us additional trivia related to the question or the answer. So essentially, this is how the format of the question quiz would go. The question would be read by Dr. Navin. For 30 seconds, you have an opportunity on chat, what we call as pounce, where you send in your answers through chat, right? You send in your answers. All of you have an opportunity to send in answers on chat. The first 5 correct answers will get prizes for Amazon vouchers. Please use only the chat option. Do not use the Q&A option. We are not looking at the Q&A option. So if you give us the answer in Q&A option, the scorers will not be checking it. Also because the Q&A is public, After that, we will go to participants on a random order, one by one, where we'll unmute you and let you speak directly to the panel and the quiz master. You can give us a guess. If the guess is right, we give you the points. The round closes there. If not, we go to the next participant that's chosen randomly. So you have two opportunities to answer. One is on chat, and then secondly on voice. After the correct answer has been given, we will now move into a 3 to 4 minute section, what we call as fun facts, where the panelists, the quiz master, and the participants can all share related interesting facts that are accurate and that are verified on chat. And we will also enable some of the participants to share it on voice as well. I hope that's clear. Throughout the quiz, whether it's on chat, whether it is on voice, if you give us the correct answer, you get 10 points. If you do not answer it, you do not get any negatives. So feel free to take as ridiculous as guesses as you want. Excuse me. A big shout out to people who have been promoting India Wants to Know the last 1 year. Mr. Joy Bhattacharya, Dr. Navin Jayakumar, many quizzers, non-quizzers have all been talking about the information that we share. Also, the style in which the quizzes are held, which makes it a little more inclusive and interesting for people to answer. Today's panel is a very interesting one because all three of the quizmaster and the panelists have appeared on the Great India Quiz earlier with India Wants to Know. Without further delay, we'd like to invite Vikram Doctor and Archana Garodia Gupta as panelists for today's Great India Quiz. Welcome, Archana. Welcome, Vikram. Can you tell us where you're joining us from?
Yeah, I'm from Delhi.
Welcome, Archana. And Vikram? Okay, Vikram is facing some connectivity.
I'm in Goa. Sai, I'm in Goa.
Yes, we wanted to hear that, Vikram. That's why we did that. Welcome, Vikram, all the way from Goa, and Archana from Delhi. And of course, the quizmaster for today, Dr. Navin Jayakumar, who needs no introduction, who's been hosting the quiz, who's a landmark quiz for over 27 years. Welcome, Dr. Navin, once again to India Wants to Know.
Thank you, Sai.
We're doing well on time. We're actually at 3:53, so we can just run through a few questions. If there are any doubts that any of the panelists have, I can see a lot of chats there. Great. I assume everybody is able to view the Zoom call in the format of a gallery view. So you should be able to see multiple panelists. That's one of the issues that some of the panelists, participants faced at the last quiz. We have hopefully solved that issue right now. Dr. Navin had asked earlier as to how many participants are there at today's quiz. So we've received over 85 registrations for today's quiz. Wow. And that was at the last count. So hopefully we should hit close to 100 participants in today's quiz. We have Venugopal, Thomas, Shomik Sen joining us from Hyderabad, Minakshi, Gurcharan, Yatin, Rajraj, Vivek N, Vignesh, Vedang, Vadashri, Tanpreet, Subhajit, Shrikant Reddy, Shravya, Saujanya, Saundarya, Sneha, Satish, Sanjay, Salil Bijur, Renuka Denkar, Rashmin Gandhi, Rashmi Mahajan, Rangaraja Ravi, Prashant Nair, Ramkrishnan M, Ramesh Natarajan, Prajwal, Piyush, Rupal, Nidish, Neeran, Nadan Arvi, Mulya Yogita, Mohit Kumar, Meenakshi Ramesh, George Kuriakos, Krishna Kenal, Kavita, Karthik, Kamya, Jayant, Hirak, Gurucharan, Fahim, Ekalavya, Deepak, Chetan, Calvin, Ashwin again, Ashit, Ashish Jain, Arun Chandrasekhar, Appu, Anubhav, Ankur, Anand, Aman, Akhila, Aditya Das, Aditi Merchant, Aarti Shamsundar. Welcome all to the Great India Quiz, the third edition. Navin, you can take it away.
Thank you, Sai, and thank you all for joining us today for the third edition of the India Quiz of India Wants to Know. Thank you, Sai, for inviting me to do this once again. It's great to be here this Sunday with all of you. So here comes the first question of the quiz. I hope all of you are ready. Sai, take it away. Let's go to the next slide. Right, so you see this gentleman, his name is Christopher. Okay, so
wow.
Can you just answer the question? And let me read. Yeah. So he died in Madras in 1858. Sai has been very sneaky. He's not given his last name. So the question is, what is his last name? Buried. He died in Madras. He's commemorated here. You can see this plaque in St. George's Cathedral.
For those of you who just joined in late, like Venugopal who's asking, please give us your answers on chat. After which, please raise your hand on Zoom and we'll come to you for answers on voice. Quite a few right answers coming in. Some interesting answers as well. Yale was an expected answer, Navin. In
Yes,
fact, we were discussing.
Yale, yes. Yale is another very interesting figure associated with Madras and America.
But Navin,
Wait,
you know,
Navin,
you know the church that really has, which is the church that really has an American connection?
Where do we need to answer, sir?
Yeah, let them finish trying that answer. Then we can probably, I'll ask Vikram that as well.
Yeah, sorry. Oh yeah, sorry. I think I gave a clue. Yeah.
Okay, Pounce is closed. Let's go to somebody who's raised hands.
Okay, so let's see. Would someone like to try this? Sai, could you identify someone?
Yes. Natarajan, can you hear us?
Yeah, hello.
Yes.
Natarajan, hi, good afternoon. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you guys?
All well, all well. So you have the opportunity to come up with the first answer of today's quiz. What is it?
That's Biden.
Yes, it is Biden. Well done. 100 points to you, and whatever else that you might get, which I might be inclined to give you. So well done. That is Christopher Biden, who is one of the ancestors of Joe Biden. Christopher Biden is interesting. He came to India and then went back to England and came back again sometime in the 1830s. And he became the master attendant of the Madras Harbour. Also, in his name, a lot of money was generated to go towards building a home called Biden Place near the Roypuram station in Madras, which is a home for destitute seamen and sailors. Another interesting fact about Christopher Biden is the fact that he did a lot of good work for preventing child trafficking and slavery, mostly from the Andhra area. They were being transported to work as labor, and he did a lot of work with that as well. And some of the laws about trafficking came about because of Christopher Biden.
So I'd like to say something here.
Yes,
Navin.
Yes.
So, India, we keep finding, since a lot of Europeans had come to India over the centuries due to whatever East India Company, and even otherwise, you had adventurers of all sorts.
Yes.
So you have a story.
Yes.
There is this gentleman showed up in Akbar's court saying that he belonged to the Bourbon family, the ruling family of France.
Right.
And Akbar gave him a position.
Yes.
And then in his court married him off to one of his Christian wives' sisters.
Okay.
And later this family emigrated to Bhopal after Nadir Shah's invasion. And now you have this Bourbon clan of Bhopal. There are hundreds of them. And a British gentleman who wrote a book basically traced that the correct heir, by descent to the French throne is one of these Bourbons who lives in Bhopal.
Interesting.
So, we have another very famous relative. I don't know how many of you have heard that Princess Diana's one ancestress was an Indian.
I see. Okay, I didn't
know.
So
she was, one of her ancestors was in India, and he married a half Armenian lady whose mother was Indian. And so she actually has Indian blood. I'm sure they're relatives there as well.
India is the other great melting pot in many other ways.
Yes.
But Navin, I was just going to say
something to say, Vikram.
Yeah, no, I was going to say that Biden at that time was not American. The one church with a really direct American connection is actually the small church called Zion Church in Chintadripet in Chennai. because the pastor who ran it was a Mr. Dulles, whose grandsons later became the famous John Foster Dulles and Alan Dulles of the CIA. So I've always thought it's really interesting that the CIA, these two guys who are so closely associated with the CIA and the Cold War, have this very direct link with Chennai.
That's interesting. Thank you, Vikram. Sai, there are a couple of participants who had raised their hands. Why don't we give them a chance?
Yeah, Ankur, you want to share with us? Yeah.
Hi, Ankur.
So actually, when we are discussed, yeah, am I audible?
Yes,
you are. Go ahead.
Okay. So since we are discussing British officers coming in, European officers coming in, so it's a very interesting thing to notice that all the younger sons used to come to India because in the British royal aristocratic societies, they had this system of the elder son getting all the father's property. So the younger sons would venture out usually.
Yes.
So some of them went to Americas and some of them came to India as officers.
That's true. That's true. Even before that, I think the eldest son used to inherit the estate and the properties. The second son used to end up in the clergy, and the third son would end up finding his way in whatever way.
Normally the army or the navy.
Navy.
That was
find your fortunes
trade,
abroad.
I think only in the 19th century. But
other interesting Chennai connection, since people mentioned, is Elihu Yale, which Vikram had mentioned. Yale, of course, donated a very small amount of money and a couple of books from his library, and that became the foundation of the Yale University. And they actually ended up naming the Yale University after Elihu Yale after a rather moderate consideration. Very measly amount. Yale is very interesting. There's a very interesting poem about him. Born in America, in Europe bred, Africa traveled, and in Asia wed. Yale was one of the few people who got married in India, along with Clive, I think. Clive was also. Good. So great information from the first question, Sai. Let's move on to the next.
Just one last time, if Ekala would like to share his fun fact as well.
Hi, Sai. Yeah, so another person who has Indian ancestors is Olivia Colman, who plays the Queen in The Crown. I think her grandfather used to work in Kishanganj in Bihar, and she actually travels to Bihar to find her ancestors. I saw it in one BBC TV series. Yeah,
it was a very nice show. Yes, that was a nice show. Yeah, thank you, Ekalavya. Sai, can we move on to
Thank you. Yeah,
two?
Sure.
Let's see what that's about. So, from US politics and its India connection, of course, Kamala Harris, all of you know, is associated, and I think we had a picture of that on the next slide. Yes, this little village in Tulasendrapuram, which claims to be the Harris's ancestral, the Gopalan's ancestral home. So they had a great celebration there, and so this was the article in the Hindu which appeared there as well. Yeah. So let's move on to the next question of this quiz. There's a suspicious looking rhino looking at us. Okay. So here is the question. You have an newspaper article. It says schoolboy sells paintings to raise money for Kargil victims. Who was this schoolboy?
Immediately there's an answer saying Modi. That's not the right answer. Anil Kapoor. That's an interesting guess.
Virat Kohli, Arnab Goswami. Arnab Goswami exists today only in the name of this quiz, which is India wants to know.
Sonu Sood is an interesting guess.
Sonu Sood. Vikram Batra, we are seeing. Surya Narayan.
Okay, so pounces. Tejasvi Udupa.
Good.
Good answering.
Good answer.
Okay, let's go to Venugopal. Can you hear us, please?
Sir.
Hi, Venugopal.
Yes. Hi, sir.
Hi, Venugopal. Tell me the answer.
Sir, Tejasvi Surya.
Absolutely right. So who's Tejasvi Surya? Because I wasn't very familiar with him. So maybe you can tell me a little more about him.
Venugopal?
He is a politician.
He's a politician. Yes, well done. Well done. So he's from Sai's place, I think Bangalore. So So
Yes.
here you go. So Sai, tell us something about Tejasvi Surya.
Tejasvi Surya is one of the youngest politicians in India, very active in the political scene right from his college days. And he obviously has contested from BJP in Bangalore. And like somebody said, he's also fairly controversial and very much in the news always. And it's interesting to note that how he actually became famous as a schoolboy who basically helped raise funds for Kargil victims. And yes, the answer is not Tejasvi Udupa, it is Tejasvi Surya. They both happen to be from Bangalore, but unrelated to each other. Any fun facts about Tejasvi Surya?
I did read his Wikipedia entry, which said something that he was a contributor to something called India Facts, which I thought was interesting.
Oh. Yeah, we can move to the next question. We have quite a few questions for today's quiz.
The next question. Yeah. Okay, so that was a Bangalore question. We did a Madras question, then a Bangalore question. I don't know where this one is going to take us. Let's take a look. Okay, so which festival originates from Yamuna and Yamraj or Krishna and Subhadra?
Someone said Karwa Chauth, which is
yes, and couple came up with the one thing that I had thought of also.
Okay, pounce is closed. Let's go to somebody who's not answered. Go ahead, Apu. Can you hear us?
Hi,
yeah,
Apu.
Hi, sir.
Go ahead, Apu. Tell us.
Just a white guess. Is it Bhai Dooj?
It is Bhai Dooj. Yes. I actually didn't know this when Sai asked. I thought it was Raksha Bandhan. So it is Bhai Dooj, and I think a lot of you have got that correct. Does anyone know what the word Dooj is?
Dooj is just it's a date, right? Because
it actually comes from the word two, Dvija or Dvita. So apparently it is the second day in a particular fortnight, in a fortnight.
I mean, what's interesting to me is that Bhai Dooj and Raksha Bandhan seem to be the only festivals in the world that celebrate siblings. I mean, I was trying to find other festivals anywhere in the world that celebrate siblings. And these seem to be the only ones that actually do, which is quite interesting.
Very true. I'm just racking my brains. I can't think of anything else either.
In Nepal, they do, I think on Bhai Dooj, it's a festival for dogs as well, right? You garland the dogs and you give them special food, I suppose.
So there is a connection there, Archana, with a festival in Nepal called Tihar. Sometime during Diwali time when Bhai Dooj is celebrated.
Okay, if it is Tihar, it's probably
again, interestingly, it has got a Yama and Yamuna connection, and because of the Yamraj, it's associated with 5 animals or birds which are associated with Yama. So it starts with crow and dog and things like that, and the last day, the 5th day, is siblings, which is Yamuna and Yam. So that's the possible connect that you're looking at.
Yam is also there as an ancient Persian god, right? The word Jamshed, the name Jamshed, he was like the first Persian.
The Persian ruler, according to Shahnameh.
And the word Jam is just the way they pronounced Yam.
I see. I didn't know that. Interestingly, I found some. Is there any fun facts? Would anyone like to contribute?
Yeah. Anubhav has a fun fact to share. Anubhav, if you can just unmute yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to answer this. It says Bhai Dooj, and the festival is Tihar Dog Festival. There was
yes, that's the one. Yes,
and it happens. Bhai Dooj happens after Diwali, 2 days after Diwali.
Yes, that's true. The Raksha Bandhan, for those of you, happens sometime in August. The Bhai Dooj happens sometime in October, November, associated with Diwali.
Yes.
The other interesting thing, of course, is Bhai Dooj is specifically between a brother and a sister, whereas Raksha Bandhan can be between brothers, between sisters, basically siblings.
Oh.
So that's one important
For example, we tie Rakhi, elder sisters tie to younger sisters, and you not only tie to your brother, but his whole family. So I still get Rakhis from my grandparents' sister, like you'll tie a normal shopping list would be maybe 100 Rakhis.
Right. Okay.
Because you have to tie to so many people.
There is an interesting historical association with Bhai Dooj, which apparently inspired Rabindranath Tagore after 1905 during the partition of Bengal. And he appropriated this concept about sibling unity and to try to tie Rakhis celebrated between Hindus and Muslims also. That was something that he extended and came up with that idea. So there is that interesting connect between Bhai Dooj and Tagore and the partition of.
No, but I think they were tying Rakhis to each other, right?
Yes, he used the Rakhi, but the idea of this came during Diwali time about Bhai Dooj.
Okay.
Yeah, brothers, basically, brothers. So interesting. Thank you all for your contributions. Let's move on. Is there anyone else who would like to add something?
Just Bertie was. In fact, Kamya made an interesting observation. She said that Yama is a son of Surya, and Tejasvi Surya was the earlier question. So she wondered if this was all a deliberate ploy.
So those of you who want to have additional fun with this quiz, try connecting one question to the next. Okay.
Bertie, can you unmute yourself? You can share facts on your own as well.
Hello. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, we can. Go ahead.
So this is something that is up in like history, but we don't have any positive proof. But apparently, when Alexander came to invade India in 326 BC, his wife had sent a Rakhi to Porus as some sort of mercy plea during the battle, and that was the reason that Porus did not kill Alexander after the defeat because of the Rakhi that was given.
No, nice. Alexander defeated Porus, right?
Sorry. Alexander defeated Porus. Yeah. So there was a Rakhi involved in it.
Here, I can just bust another myth, which is about Humayun and the Rakhi story, which we are perpetually fed, that Rani Karnavati sent a Rakhi to Humayun and he rushed to Chittor, but he was too late to prevent.
Too late, yes.
So, actually, when you look at the movement of Humayun, and the dates are very well recorded in letters and all. When Bahadur Shah invested Chittor in November,
yes,
and Humayun actually came, he was not away to the east, he was just near Delhi. He came and he parked himself 100 kilometers away and lingered there for 2 months, because he said, both are my enemies, and one of them is going, let them fight it out, and whenever whoever loses is finished anyway, and whoever wins, he'll be very much weakened, and I will do that. So actually he waited. After Bahadur Shah had conquered Chittor and he was on his way out with the loot, he surrounded Bahadur Shah and encircled him, and then Bahadur Shah managed to sneak out, leaving his belongings behind. And Humayun, there is a thing that he went and he saw the tent, which was made with, gold pegs and silver and embroidery. And he said he was stunned by the opulence. The Mughals didn't have that kind of opulence at that time. He kind of said, okay, this is nothing to be marveled at, because my kheti is of millets and wheat, and his kheti is of pearls and coral, because that's what they used to trade in. And then he followed Bahadur Shah and conquered Gujarat. So, so this is that Rakhi thing is absolutely fake.
That's the romantic version. You come up with a strategic version. Yes.
That's from Todd. So
realpolitik
stories.
Okay. Thanks, Archana, for that. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. All right, here it comes. Okay, there are many origin stories for this clan of Jats. So here are some of them. They may have emigrated to North India from Multan, or they may have immigrated from Tibet, or they may have Persian origins, hence their name has no Sanskrit or Hindi meaning. One of them became famous since August this year with his exploits in the Middle East. Which clan? Someone has written some cricket funda, so you're in the good ballpark of the answer.
People are just taking random last names of cricketers.
Afridi, Uyghurs. Okay.
Jadeja,
Bounce, close.
Dhawan.
Some more answers are coming up. Shikhar Dhawan.
Okay, let's go to someone who's not answered so far.
Yes.
Nidish, would you like to share your answer, please?
I think I'll try to go with a more left field choice as in Varun Chakravarti.
Chakravarti. No, it's not Chakravarti. Anyone else would like to try, Sai?
Yes.
There are some people who have raised their hands.
Yeah. Go ahead, Subuk. Yes.
Yeah, so just Middle East. So I will go with a cricketer IPL who hails from Haryana. So I went with Tewatia.
Perfect answer. Well worked out, Satish. Good for you. So this is Tewatia from Haryana. So these are the Jats from Haryana. The Tewatia. So Rahul Tewatia is the Indian cricketer who plays for Haryana in the Ranji Trophy and is presently playing for the Rajasthan Royals as well. Okay.
I'd like to share something here about Jats. It's actually a very ancient term, and the Arabs, especially in the Prophet's time, used to call all Indians Jats. That was their word for Indian.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and there is apparently, I read somewhere that there is a thing that the Prophet had a dream where he met Moses. And then somebody asked him, what did he look like, Moses? So he said he looked like a Jat.
Okay.
That's one thing. The other thing is that after Muhammad bin Qasim conquered Sindh,
yes.
So Sindh became part of the Arabic Empire, which stretched from there till Syria.
Yes.
Now, and the northern Syria, they were fighting with the Byzantines. The Arabs were fighting with the Byzantines. And the line of control, was pretty steady for a long time. So what happened is that area got de-peopled. The villagers all ran away because of the continuous warfare. And you had lions which were endemic to that region who then spread across. Then later the border moved further north and the caliph wanted people to settle there, do agriculture, pay taxes. And he wasn't getting any people because nobody wanted to handle those lions. So they came up with the Indian counterparts, the Arabs who knew India came up with a solution. And they sent some 4,000 water buffaloes.
I see.
And a few thousand Jats.
Okay.
From Sindh
to manage the lions. Huh?
To northern Syria, and those buffaloes then fought off the lions, because if you have full-grown water buffaloes, the lions run away.
Okay.
So, and the Jats settled there.
I see. Interesting.
So today you have, and there is a whole theory that says that the gypsies actually originated from, so it's clear that the gypsies are from India, right? They have a genetic marker plus the language, there's linguistic plus genetic evidence. They have a marker, they belong to this haplogroup H, and they have a genetic marker on the Y. It's called the M138 or whatever, which is called the Indian marker. So for 40% of Indian males have it, including my entire family.
I see.
So they say that these Jats actually then were taken into Byzantium because they would be slave raiding across the border all the time. And the gypsies we know have started out from Byzantium in the 10th century. So that is
interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, and the
Thank you.
are still there.
That was a nice little dissertation on the origin of the Jats.
Or the spread of Jats.
Spread of the Jats.
The story.
So, Sai, anyone else would like to contribute any information? I think Archana probably had the last word on that.
I'll just tell you origin, since you mentioned.
Lovely information.
Which is there. This mutation is supposed to have occurred in India 30,000 years ago. So it's like really Indian.
Really good.
Marker.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Thank you.
That is great information. That's the kind of stuff that we all enjoy listening to in India Wants to Know quiz. And maybe audience, anyone else, participants would like to try something?
Yes. Ashwin, you want to go ahead?
No, actually, I can't top what Archana said, but similarly, how she said Middle Eastern knew Indians as Jats, was probably the first Indians they interacted. I think Indian word for foreigner was Yavana, which is basically from Ionian this thing. So obviously the foreigner comes. I thought that was an interesting connection. Fun fact to add.
Nice. Thank you. Okay, let's move on to the next question of today's quiz.
We did find
some more
one
information
last.
is here. Yes, I had some stuff there coming up.
Yes. We found the interesting fact that there are two rivers in the world which are named after the name or the Gotra Tewatia. One is Tapti River in India and the other is Teviot in England. Both of them are named after the Tewatia Gotra.
Okay. This was interesting because I tried to dig up a little more information about that. And the Tapti, I could understand maybe there is a connection there. But the Teviot River in Scotland, named after Tewatia, is a little bit of a stretch, I thought.
Sure.
And I read it in one of those wiki pages called jartland.com or something like that.
Yes.
And I couldn't find any other reference to this river originating from the Tewatia name. So it could be Sai, shall we call it an alternative fact for today and carry on?
Yes, dubious fact. Yes, absolutely.
So this is an alternative fact for those of you who want to dig deeper about the river Teviot. You can go ahead. This is a fun question coming up. Right. So take a look at this cartoon. A lot of you must have seen it and passed it around on social media. So you fill the blanks there below with a funny Hindi phrase, or you can tell what was Modi ji's message to the people of India.
There's a pun in the visual, like Dr. Navin mentioned. That should help you figure it out. Lots of interesting answers. Ganesha plastic surgeon is one. Modi hai to mumkin hai, says Nidish.
Do hathi bara haath.
Yeah. My favorite is from Salil Bijur, who says, Mere pyare hathiyon.
Lovely.
Hathi hamare sathi.
That would be a major comment on Indian obesity. Corona control hamare haath mein hai. That was Tanpreet's answer. Okay. So I think
Appu says 2.5 kilo ki hathi, which is a pun on a very famous movie dialogue. Mohit. Okay, great. Let's move to some.
Rashmin says do gaz duri. Okay. So three participants have raised their hands. Let's try someone.
Before that, I would like to go to somebody who had a funny answer. Arun, do you want to share your guess, please?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, let's look at the funny ones.
I just said 56 inch ka chhati jo bolte rehte hain, because of two heads.
50. We are all onto hathi dimensions now. So
Hathi and hathi.
56 inch hathi hai. Okay. Hathi.
Hirak, you want to give us the answer? Okay.
Yeah. Hi all.
Hi Hirak.
Hi. So what I feel this answer is do gaj ki duri. Gaj means elephant. Yes. And it also is gaj is measurement unit. So do gaj ki duri means 6 foot distance between couple of persons. So like that, I'm feeling that might be the answer.
Absolutely right. Well done, Hirak. That is the answer that we're looking for. It was do gaj ki duri, and it was obviously a pun on the word gaj. Archana, would you like to say something about this, or do you have anything?
Well, do gaj is typically used for, when people were buried, they were buried 6 feet deep. So you say, do gaj zameen ke niche.
Okay. Actually, the word itself is not related. The unit of measurement of length with gaj is extremely variable. It could vary anything from 18 to 52.5 inches those days. It's of Persian origin. Okay. And one of the early descriptions of it is in Abul Fazl's Aini Akbari. And Akbar incidentally instituted one version of the gaj as a distance. It was known as the Ilahi Gaj. Okay. As you know, he started the Dini Ilahi. It was made as standard, and it was the basis of all land measurements. And But because it was so variable, even when the East India Company came, they finally arbitrarily created one measurement called 33 inches is 1 gaj. And they use that to measure, because if you know what the standard length of a gaj is, you will be able to calculate what a bigha is. And a bigha of zameen
varies across India
for them because of revenue.
No, because I know that Raja Todarmal had got a physical measure made, which was like a foldable thing where you would unfold it with bamboo.
Yes.
I think, and that used to be a
one
gun.
of the early standardized things.
But
Any
the
fun
bigha
facts
still
from...
varies across the country.
it does. It
You have
varies
to
a lot.
understand what a bigha is. Could vary from 500 square yards to
So that was about the gaj. Any facts from the audience would like to try? Sai,
Vikram, would you like to share anything? I'll just go to the audience.
I mean,
as well.
the only thing is that this reminded me of one old quiz question of,
yes.
What are the famous last words associated with John Sedgwick, the highest-ranking Union general killed in the Civil War?
Yes.
And the answer is they couldn't kill an elephant at that distance.
That was funny. Thank you, Vikram. Sai, anyone from the audience has anything to
Yes.
add?
Ekalavya, would you like to share something?
No, I was just saying that yard and gaj are very similar in length. I think they are both about 0.9 meters.
3 feet. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in property terms, a gaj is used for a yard today. If you ask
that's
somebody
right,
what is the size of this plot, they'll say itne gaj. It's a yard, 3 feet or whatever.
So when Sai put up this question, I think quizzers have got weirdly wired neurons in their heads. So my first thing was, since he mentioned about 2 gaj ki duri and COVID vaccine and social distancing. So I really wanted to know what is the dimensions of the elephant there, since it was 2 gaj ki duri. So I found out after great research into this subject that the average adult Indian elephant, the width is 10 feet across. Apparently, it's 21 feet from front to back and about weighs 5.5 tons, but it's 10 feet across. So 2 elephants would be 20 feet totally, which is a great distance, much better than the 6 feet social distancing, which led me to another very interesting point regarding 6 feet. A lot of you think that 6 feet is enough. Okay, it's probably enough outdoors. It's not enough indoors, and definitely not enough when you are sitting in a poorly ventilated room, whether it is, for example, in a restaurant or a movie theater, etc., it's all closed, where these viruses can remain in droplets in the atmosphere, in the air around you for much longer periods and much greater distances. And the 6 feet actually comes from the older measurements of when someone used to cough or sneeze, the droplets of sneezing used to go around about 6 feet or so. So that's how it came. And this was much before the idea of aerosols originated. Now we all know that viruses spread by aerosols, which is that kind of suspension of solid particles in a gas. So this concept of aerosols had not been propounded then when the 6 feet idea had come, because people could only see droplets. Whereas aerosols, you can't really see them. So, which is why we need to keep much greater distances than what 6 feet is, depending on where you are located. Exactly. So, the concept of aerosols came mostly after World War I or so. 20 feet is great. 2 gaj ki duri would be a great distance for social distancing.
Yeah, but I just
hats off to Modi ji for being ahead of his time.
No, gaj and gaz are 2 totally different word origins, right?
Absolutely.
Gaz, which is Persian, and the gaj is a Sanskrit word.
Yes.
They're not. They just sound.
There's no connection. That's why it's a pun. It is a great pun. So thank you, Sai. That is a great question and led me to all sorts of crazy bylanes of quizzing. So let's move on to the next question.
Sure. Rupal had one interesting fact to share. Rupal, can you unmute yourself?
Sai, there's someone who wants a password, unable to join from my laptop. I got there's a message on the chat.
Sure. My team will just take care of it.
Yeah, hi guys. I had seen posters in on Twitter for Australia. They say keep distance of at least 1 croc away. That's the language they understand. And in New Zealand, basically, they talk about 1 cow away. 1 cow, 1 cow in New Zealand, cow, and maybe if more than 1 cow and a sheep. And in Australia, it's a croc, basically. That's the understand. Or maybe 4 koalas. Yeah.
These are all new COVID-related units of social distancing.
Yeah, and more realistic than the Gaj we have. Yeah.
So we have 2 elephants, 1 crocodile, 1 cow and a sheep.
And a sheep.
Okay. So
Excellent, Rupal. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Thank you for that contribution. So amongst all the animals used for social distancing, here they are, all listed for you on India Wants to Know. Sai, let's move on to the next question.
Sure. We are at the end of the first round, and here are the scores of the first round so far. Hope all of you can see my screen. Here are the winners from the first question, which was the Joe Biden question. Please give a warm of applause for Ramkrishnan, Deepak Sekar, Hirak, Satish, and Jayant, who are the first 5 winners of the first question. They all get Amazon vouchers. Congratulations to all of you. On the question on Tejasvi Surya, not Tejasvi Udupa, prizes and points to Ramesh Natarajan, Sumukh, Venugopal, Kamya, and Salil Bijur. Some other great answers were Modi, Anil Kapoor, and Hrithik Roshan, of course. On the question on Bhai Dooj, the first answer came from Akhila, followed by Shrikant, Sai Milind, Aman, and Ramkrishnan. Congratulations to all 5 of you. Interesting note by our interns who said that, it's a missed opportunity for Hallmark in the Western world.
Yes.
On the question on Tewatia, points and prizes to Saqib Javed, Arun, Anand PK, Prajwal, and Naresh. Congratulations to all of you. And on the last question, which took us down great stories, Hirak, Ashwin, Anubhav, Niran, and Ronak gets points and prizes. Congratulations to all of you. Great. Let's get back to the quiz.
Second one, just check.
Yeah. So
yes,
here we go, carrying on with our quiz.
We have a special round. We have 5 questions exclusively on food. Again, the format remains the same. Yeah.
So Vikram, it's all yours. Food, glorious food. Okay, here comes the first question of our special food round. Okay, these are the only places in the world that can claim the GI tag for a certain product. There are 7 states in India and 18 districts in Pakistan. Samosa was a good one. Mango, kebabs, kesar, sugar, saffron, Mysore pak. Okay.
Okay. Pounce is closed. Let's go to someone who's not answered so far.
Yes.
Chetan, yes, go ahead.
Hi. Is it basmati rice?
Basmati rice is correct. I like Ramakrishna M's answer. They all fast bowlers. It seems. In India and 18 districts in Pakistan. I think that's the funniest alternative fact so far I got here. Okay, so that is Pakistan, and here is this headline which says Pakistan challenging India's claim for exclusive GI tag to basmati rice in the European Union. Vikram, any interesting things about basmati rice?
Well, not so much basmati, but I mean, there is an interesting question, which I would like someone to find, maybe confirm it. Among the many varieties of basmati has about 12 different varieties. About 3 of them are called pusa. And, if you know anything about commodities, pusa is a very common term among Indian commodities, mainly because it refers to the Indian Agricultural Research Institute, which comes up with many different hybrid varieties, which are usually called Pusa X, Pusa Y, Pusa thing. So, Pusa is one of the most common terms in the commodities and agricultural trade. And the reason for this is that the Indian Agricultural Research Institute is based on what's called the Pusa campus in Delhi. But the Pusa campus in turn is named after a place called Pusa in Bihar, which was where the original Indian Agricultural Research Institute was based. That institute was destroyed in the Great Bihar earthquake, after which the institute was shifted to Delhi, but they kept the name Pusa, hence Pusa campus. But the intriguing question is why Pusa in Bihar was named. And one a floating fact that I've come across was that it was not originally a Bihari name. It was named because the Indian Agricultural Research Institute was set up with the donation from Henry Phipps, who was Andrew Carnegie's partner and one of the biggest philanthropists in American philanthropists, who gave a donation to at the request of Henry Curzon, of George Curzon, sorry, the Viceroy, and this to set up the Pusa campus. And hence Pusa actually stands for Phipps of USA. Now, this is one of these wonderful facts that is just floating out there. And it should be easy to confirm it because I would need to track down a Bihar register, a Bihar gazetteer from the 19th century and see if the term exists before Curzon. But I've seen this quoted in fairly reliable agricultural histories. So the fact that Pusa comes from Phipps of USA is one of these intriguing facts.
Interesting. Yeah, the word USA after that is very, very tempting to attach.
Yeah, I know.
I did look at the government website on agricultural produce, and apparently, according to them, there are 29 varieties of basmati rice notified under the Indian Seeds Act of 1966. So that was there. Sai, any audience? I saw a lot of interesting points there. Why don't we try them?
Yeah, go ahead, Varun. Others
Yeah,
would
hi.
come in.
Actually, with respect to basmati rice, I'm from Hyderabad, so there's an unverified fact, but it was quite a famous board I remember seeing somewhere that the Paradise Biryani outlet in Hyderabad, it is supposed to be the single largest consumer of basmati rice in India. So it's just a fun fact.
Oh, that's interesting. Which place was this?
This is the Paradise Biryani.
Ah, the biryani. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. It's almost like I did remember reading on one of these Malaysian Airlines flights that the single largest producer of what is that Malaysian kebabs on a stick called? Vikram, do you remember?
Satay.
Okay, yeah. The single largest producer of satay and consumer happens to be the Malaysian Airlines, because they serve it to everyone on board, especially in the business first class and all that. So thank you for that fun fact. I did see a couple of facts about Texmati rice made by Texas University. Used to be one of those quiz questions when I was in college. They did try to create and in fact patent that version, and then there was a hue and cry from the Indian government, and that could not get patented because they were able to show.
Yeah, I think they originally tried to patent basmati rice in general, and then that didn't fly, so they made this version called Texmati.
Yes. Well, that's true.
Thank you, Kamya, for that.
I have a quick fun fact.
Yes, Bertie was wanting to add something about leopards. Now I'm really curious. Go ahead, Bertie.
Basmati and also certain other types like jasmine rice are known because of their smell, that really nice aroma.
Yes.
So that aroma comes from a particular ketone called 2-acetyl-1-pyrrolene, or known as 2-AP. There are very few things which have 2-AP. One is, of course, the rice. Then is white bread. The third thing is the urine of the Indian leopard.
Whoa.
Oh, is it?
Whoa.
Yeah, so random fact. Thank you. I'm done. And if anybody is going to have lunch after this, my apologies.
No, I don't think leopards are on the menu anywhere. I think so. We'll go ahead with the basmati rice.
But he's right that screwpine kevra has the same aroma, and quite often it's well known as a trick that caterers play, that if they want to pass lesser varieties of rice off as basmati, they use the kura leaves to give that basmati aroma.
I do know they use the kevra drops in the Lucknow biryani and things like that.
That's a different thing. I mean, kevra drops come from the flowers, and that's sweet. I'm talking about the leaves of the screwpine, which actually do have this basmati aroma in quite a startling way.
Interesting. Thanks, Vikram. Sai, anyone else would like to add anything, or shall we move on?
Aarti, would you like to share? Yeah.
Basmati's dominance is relatively recent, right? Because if you look at ancient records, of course, there were special rices in every region. And even there was a Chinese monk who had come to Nalanda, I Ching, and he talks about this variety of rice which only the mahant or the very senior monks would get to eat. So you always had this separation of rice types, across the country. You had one which was a regular one, and then you had these very special fragrant rices.
One of the most fascinating rice facts that I know is this information was given to me from the Center for Indigenous Knowledge Solutions in Chennai, CIKS. Navin, you might know them. This is about the Puri temple. That among the many offerings given to the gods at Puri is every day green rice, green paddy. Now, for green paddy to be given every day, there has to exist such a diversity of rice varieties in the region around Puri that the CIKS was trying to do a study to find out all the different farmers who were growing rice simply for this, so that every day of the year there could be green paddy given at the temple, which I think is a fascinating example of the sort of the biodiversity of rice in just an area like around Puri.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Thank you. Sai, anyone else? Incidentally,
no, I think
the very first GI tag, I think many of you may be knowing, in India was the Darjeeling tea in 2004 or 2005. That was the first product, agricultural product to be having a GI tag.
I think the first cooked thing was halim.
First non-veg.
Okay. Non-veg. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, Ekalava, you wanted to share something?
The other thing that India and Pakistan are fighting over as far as GI tags are concerned is Pashmina. So Pakistan says that they should also be able to use the GI tag. Yes. And I think India's position is that for that, the Pashmina quality should be as good as Indian Pashmina.
Okay, that's a good point.
I know the Harappans used to export Pashmina to ancient Babylon like 5,000 years ago.
Okay.
Maybe Pakistan has a...
Right, so let's moving on to the next question. Get some answers in and the prizes out to all of you. Here it comes. Okay, so there's a dish from Chhattisgarh called chapra. What is its main ingredient? Okay. Chapra means leaf basket and refers to how the main ingredient is found. The ingredient is crushed and ground into fine paste with tomatoes, coriander, garlic, ginger, chili, salt, and a bit of sugar. And you get this nice orange paste.
A lot of right answers coming in.
Yes.
Many people seem to have tasted it. Okay, closing pounds. Yes, great. Let's move to somebody who's not answered so far. If anybody's not answered earlier, your chance will be better if you raise your hand now. Let's go to Ronak.
Hi, Ronak.
Hi, doctor. I believe this is red ants and their eggs. Particularly, they make a chutney of their red ants.
Absolutely right. You got the main ingredient absolutely right. And for that, I'm sure you'll be getting your prize, hopefully, in the Jaldi 5. Well done.
We were supposed to have a...
That's a nice answer. Excellent answer. Correct.
We were supposed to have a music here which says like red ant, red ant.
Okay, so this is ants. Vikram, what do you know about ants?
No, nothing much. I mean, the only sort of insect-related thing that, but earlier this year we had all these stories of locust attacks across North India, and while it was horrific, I mean, the thing is that actually many cultures do have a tradition of eating locusts. For instance, locusts, as per the Talmudic rules, are actually kosher. Yes. Obviously, the kosher things don't allow most insects, but they do allow locusts. And one practical reason for that is when a locust attack happens, is probably not very much else to eat. So yes, you can eat locusts.
Interesting, very interesting.
And
the point about being kosher is really good, really good. Yeah.
The Aztecs
Archana, yes.
evolved insect-based cuisine.
Pardon?
Aztecs cuisine, they had a lot of varieties of insects in their cuisine. You know, they had many dishes. If you look, you'll find recipes, ancient recipes with.
It's not particularly ancient. I mean, current Mexican cuisine has a lot of insect recipes,
There's
and one simple reason for that is that one simple reason for that is insects are an extremely are an excellent source of protein.
Yes.
But it's true that certain American cultures did not actually have that many great sources of protein. So insects, and they're often being spoken about as a great protein for the future.
I wonder how many of you participants have tried this red ant chutney. So,
Ashwin, Shivanand had something interesting to share.
Yes, go ahead.
Ashwin, can you unmute yourself, please? Or Kamya, either one.
Someone asked, do prawns count as insects? Yes, they are kind of the crustaceans of the sea. Yeah, insects.
And that's actually a good point. You know, if we can eat prawns, there's no reason why we can't eat insects.
Yes, they are similar. They're marine forms of insects, literally.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, since you added Latin American people in Latin America eating ants.
Yes.
So apparently there's a certain preference for ants which feed on agave because they are filled with sugar. So that adds to the taste.
That's true. That's true. In fact, they do use that. You have these insect larvae which are used in this
mezcal.
Which we can drink mezcal.
Mezcal, yeah.
And occasionally do find them in tequila as well. Though strictly speaking, tequila should not contain a worm.
I have an interesting fact about this. Something about food being kosher. So at some time around the 17th or 18th century, during Lent, Catholics are not supposed to have meat, but they can have fish. So some weird discussion went on, and finally the Catholic Church said, since beavers and capybara are really good swimmers and they're semi-aquatic, we'll make them into fish. So Catholics used to eat beavers and capybara and call them as fish during the 17th and 18th century.
Oh my God, interesting.
Well, actually, that goes back even more ancient. I mean, there were many attempts made to like sort of bend the rules of. It's not kosher. It's about Lent. To bend the rules of what was acceptable around Lent or on fasting days. And so there are a whole range of things. Beavers, you're right, are one example of things that were classified as fish for the purpose of Lent. And there were whole categories of not meat products, which are not vegetables. I mean, one of the weirder ones is actually rabbit fetuses. Rabbit fetuses were actually considered as an acceptable food because they were seen as like sort of like eggs. So there's a long tradition of not meat products.
Interesting. So actually, the most among the various insects, the ones most commonly consumed around the worldwide are beetles. Apparently, percentage is 31% of all insects consumed are beetles, followed by butterflies and moths, bees, wasps, and ants, grasshoppers, locusts, and crickets, and cicadas, leafhoppers, and plant hoppers as well. So that's a little bit of extra information for you. So moving on to the next question. Someone said they had a fly in their soup. Does that count? Probably, for laughs. Okay, here comes the next question for all of you to try. Continuing on the food theme, September 2020, what did the Press Information Bureau of Maharashtra use to highlight the inclusion of protein-rich pulses in diets to fight malnutrition?
So if you get the ingredient or what the reference was, you can get points for both. It seems to be a slightly tough question compared to the earlier questions.
I've seen some correct answers.
Yeah, there are some correct answers coming in.
Beef curry says Ashwin. Meme or meme says Ashish. Misal pav says Sumuk.
Pav bhaji. That's good guess.
Sai Milan says Vada Pavam.
Incidentally, Sai, after all the discussion about rice, someone described it as a racist question.
Yes, I saw it. It's an act of racism. Yes.
Act of racism. Sabudana vada.
Which would be like the lowest protein thing one can think of, actually.
Dalgona coffee.
They were just misled by the Maharashtra part of the question.
Yes.
No, I'm just thinking, except how many peanuts you put in it.
Great. Let's go to somebody who's not answered so far. Yatin, you've been raising your hand for quite a few questions. Go ahead, Yatin.
It was chana because of that meme, Rasode Mein Kaun Tha. It was the chana was part of that song, So I think it is chana. The answer is chana.
Okay, we'll give you marks for that. Yes, that is the correct answer. Archana, could you tell us something about this?
No, I mean, this meme is there and all. I can tell you something about chana.
Yes, why not?
You have, one is what we call Kabuli chana, the big garbanzo beans, which is something that comes from Turkey originally. And in Italian, it's called chichi, right? And in ancient Rome also, which is where Cicero gets his name, because he had a little chana-like thing on his nose. And but in India, we have that small black chana which we use on Dashmi and on Ashtami and all for our festivals, and which we burn on Holi. That is native Indian, and it has been found in Harappan, and it has also been found in Neolithic levels in
I see.
India. So it's a really ancient Indian source of protein, and we've been having it. It's about, I think, 30%, if I'm not mistaken, which is pretty high for it's on the higher side for pulses.
We are on a protein rich section of the quiz. We had insects and locusts, and now we have chana to cater to vegetarians, non-vegetarians, etc. So maybe Sai, could you tell someone in the audience who would like to contribute?
Yes, Eklavya had something to share.
Yeah, I don't know if this is true or not, or if this is just a story, but apparently Aurangzeb asked Shah Jahan what is one food that he would like to consume while being in prison, and I think Shah Jahan replied chana. So the story goes that all his life he just had chana and different things made out of chana. I don't know if that is true.
Interesting. Well, that's an interesting story. That's fine.
And it was also roasted chana was the marching food of the Maratha army.
Oh.
Because
that's interesting.
It's very, you can eat it, it's protein rich, it's easy to,
it's easy to carry, yes.
Calories, it's easy to carry. So
doesn't get spoiled also that easy. Yeah. Excellent, excellent. So good. So anyone else would like to contribute? Someone has raised their hands.
Ankur, you would like to share?
Hi everyone. So since someone mentioned Aurangzeb and Shah Jahan, so actually the story, I was watching this food blog called Delhi Food Walks, and there one of the contributors told this story where Shah Jahan was asked by Aurangzeb, what would you like to have? So he looked to his cook, and his cook said, okay, I say chana because I can make 365 varieties of chana. So you can have a new chana dish every day to eat. So that's why he said chana.
Excellent.
So actually, if you look at it, besan is from chana, right?
Yes.
So you can have your laddu and your barfi and your bundi, and you can have your chiras and your chole, and you could have roti.
You just expanded the chana repertoire, I think.
You could have sweet, savories, bread.
That's a smart move. Smart move. Okay, so
thank you so much for that.
Thank you for that. Sai, let's move on to the next question.
Sure.
Yeah. Hello.
Yes.
Here it comes for all of you. One more food question coming up on the theme. So this is the flag of the Nizams of Hyderabad and its coat of arms. What does the circular shape symbolize?
On the left is the flag, and on the right is the coat of arms. Somebody said Oreo. That's not the right answer.
Dum biryani, egg, rotis.
Participants, if you can raise your hand, we will come to you. Someone said Karachi
interesting
biscuits.
answer. Karachi biscuits is a good guess. Biryani vessels. All nice tries. Nice tries.
Chetan, can you give us your answer?
Yeah. Is this a kulcha?
It is a kulcha. So what is a kulcha, Chetan?
I mean, it's just made, it's bread, right? It's basically bread.
It's like
bread.
it's sort of like a naan. It's crispy on the outside and soft inside. And of course, the most famous version is the Amritsari kulcha. But there's a very interesting story about the Nizam, the dynasty, which is the Asaf Jahi dynasty, and the Nizams of Hyderabad, and how this kulcha came about. So the first Nizam was a gentleman named Mir Kamruddin, and he went to meet Hazrat Nizamuddin in Delhi. And the Sufi saint gave him kulchas, and he told him to eat it. It was wrapped in a yellow cloth, and he opened it. He found these kulchas. He ate it. He ate 7 of them. And after that, Hazrat Nizamuddin prophesied that one day he would become a king, and that his descendants would rule gloriously for 7 generations. And interestingly, that prophecy came true, and that's why you find the kulcha on the flag of the Nizams of Hyderabad as a gratitude to the Sufi saint who made that prophecy. And that's why you find the kulcha there. Not only the kulcha, the color of the flag, yellow, also denotes the yellow cloth in which these kulchas were packed in. So,
and it is actually true that Osman Ali Khan was the last Nizam, was the 7th Nizam. I actually had a sort of a spin-off question from this, which I tried researching, and maybe somebody can find an answer. Which other national flags have something edible on it? I can only think of one example, but I don't know of anybody else. I'm talking about national flags, since Hyderabad could have been considered a state.
Yes.
Participants, could you share something?
Mozambique.
Well, New Zealand has a fern that's actually not. Yes, the answer I was looking for was that Ashwin has said Grenada has a nutmeg on it.
Yes.
Yeah, the Canadian flag has a maple leaf. You don't eat the maple leaves; you eat the things. But the answer I was thinking of was Grenada. I don't know if there's any other example.
Yes, I can't think of anything else really.
My only thing about this kulcha story is that Asaf Jah was in the 1700s.
Yes.
And Nizamuddin died in 1325.
Nizamuddin Aurangabadi, not the original. Hazrat Nizamuddin Aurangabadi. So that we're talking about a different peer, not the Delhi Nizam.
Not the old one.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Mexico has an eagle and snake which might be edible if you're brave enough. Point taken.
A lot of participants are fighting for points, but like you can also eat a lion. If lion is on the flag, it also counts.
It depends on how desperate you are, whether you want to eat lions or maple leaves. It's all yours.
They're just desperate for points, I think.
Okay. So, end of the food round, and I hope you enjoyed yourselves on that. Let's move on to the next question. Yes, Sai, you were saying something. Oh, Jaldi 5 minutes.
In the spirit of time, we'll just move forward to the next round and show the answers at the end of the last round. Here's the next question.
We'll move a little quicker, try and get some more questions in. Okay, here comes the next question for all of you to try. So, what connects the origin of these two? I see some correct answers there. Okay, Sai, so when you're ready, Pounce is closed. Yes.
Sure. Let's go to Chetan. Go ahead, Chetan.
Hi, Chetan. Go ahead.
Yeah. So 87, I think Australia won that, which is basically was an English colony, Australia. And Taj Mahal Hotel, I think at some point we had someone from the English East India Company owning that and running that, which is why I think England is probably.
Okay, so that's your connect. Possibly, but not what we were looking for. Maybe someone else could try.
Ashwin, can you unmute yourself, please? You've tried earlier as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I think both are a result of like personal insults, I suppose. I think Jamshedji was not allowed into a hotel, and so he said, "I would build the best hotel," etc. Similarly, I think in the '83 World Cup, I'm not sure who it was, the BCCI chairman was not allowed in the box in Lords or something. He said next World Cup will be hosted in India, and he made that happen. So I think.
Absolutely correct. Well done, Ashwin. That is the answer that we were looking for. And Rupal has come up with the name, which is NKP Salve. If you can see the chat there. So basically, they came out of insults. So Jamshedji Tata wasn't allowed entry. The hotel apparently was the Watson's Hotel in Bombay. And so he said he would build another hotel. And so he started the Taj Mahal Hotel. Likewise, NKP Salve was refused entry to Lords to watch the 1983 World Cup, and he vowed to bring the World Cup to India. So open to panelists. Let's try participants first. Anything they'd like to add to this? Ankur says, I have a fact.
So Dr. Navin mentioned that Watson's Hotel,
yes,
from which Jamshedji was kicked out. Is there any other interesting trivia about Watson Hotel?
Yes, the one famous thing about, I mean, multiple pieces of trivia. I mean, it's one of the world's, it still stands. I mean, it's the Esplanade building, which is in a considerable state of disrepair. But I mean, what's notable is that it's still standing. And one reason why is that it is one of the world's oldest cast iron structures. The whole structure, this thing. So even though the building is visibly falling to pieces, it's still standing. And also the other story about Watson's Hotel is that's where the first films in India were shown. Because when the Lumiere brothers went around the world doing their demonstrations of this moving picture technology, the first screening was done in Watson's Hotel.
That's right. That's true.
That's right. Ankur, you wanted to share something?
Yeah. Ankur had something to share.
Yeah. So actually, I'll try. So I went with the answer was Jamnagar, and what I thought was like because the '87 World Cup was a Reliance World Cup. And because Jamshedji came from Jamnagar, those the answer would be Jamnagar.
Alternative fact. Well done.
Alternative facts, yes.
Absolutely right. Well done. Nice one.
I actually wanted to say something about the insult leading to certain things. So Maharaja of Alwar had gone to a Rolls Royce showroom, and he wasn't treated right, and he didn't look very impressive. So he got very angry and he bought 2 Rolls Royces, and he made them garbage collection vans in Alwar. And Rolls Royce company was really affronted, and they tried to buy it back, and he wouldn't do that. Of course, the positive thing would have been probably to set up a car factory, which was which made cars made cars of the level of Rolls Royce. That would have been an equivalent reply to setting up the Taj or doing the World Cup.
But this is nice. The Jhadu version of the Rolls Royce looks really exotic. That was fun.
And Navin, you were mentioning this.
There was another point. Yes, interestingly, as far as the Tatas were concerned, even Ratan Tata, when he was talking about the Indica to the Ford people, they were kind of, you don't know anything about how making a passenger car, etc. They were not very kind to his ideas, and so he came back in a very reflective mode and thought about it. And anyway, it's odd enough that many, many years later, when Ford was in trouble, it was Ratan Tata who came out and bought the Jaguar Land Rover from Ford. So that was another interesting thing, which probably came about because of that Ford connection earlier on. Okay, moving on to the next question.
Okay, this is not really a question. It's just a curiosity that we're checking.
Yeah.
If anyone has seen Scam 1992, here's the question.
Reliving my memories, investing in the market in 1992, very heady.
Oh God.
This is Pratik Gandhi, the actor. He became famous for acting as Harshad Mehta. But this wasn't the first time he played a real person. He'd acted in a record-breaking biopic earlier on stage. So who is the real-life person being played on stage? Take a look at the pictures. one picture is particularly revealing. C.V. Raman is a good guess.
Somebody said Chandrakant Bakshi, which is an interesting guess because Pratik Gandhi actually became famous for portraying Chandrakant Bakshi in a series of plays. That's an excellent guess. From Hirak. Unfortunately, not the right answer. Okay, Pounce is closed. Does anybody want to raise their hand?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. Nathan?
Hello.
Nathan?
Yeah.
Yes.
I missed the pounds actually, but my guess would be Gandhi, I think.
Gandhi is the
Mahatma
correct
Gandhi.
answer. Absolutely right. Sai, could you discuss this answer with us, please?
Yes. So Pratik Gandhi became famous for portraying Chandrakant Bakshi and Mahatma Gandhi in a series of long-running plays. And this was an interesting play called Mohan's Masala. Essentially, it was the story of Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi before he became the Mahatma. So it portrayed his life before he became Mahatma. So which is why his appearance looks very different. Has anybody in the participants seen this play or any of Pratik Gandhi's plays? He's a very, very famous theatre personality. Or if any opinions on Scam 1992. Sorry, Archana, you were telling us about how you were reliving your memories from 90s.
Yeah, because I just started investing in the market in 1990, 91.
Okay.
And I remember in the beginning of 91, the index was 1300. And by April 92, it was 4,200.
Wow.
Basically, it kind of tripled. So, I still remember you didn't have anything online. The share prices would come in the morning in economic times, and the newspaper wala would throw the newspaper on the balcony at 6 in the morning. And I'm not an early riser, but I'd be there waiting on the balcony, waiting for that newspaper to check out the share prices to make the deals for the day. It was intoxicating, that period. I remember that very well.
I mean, Harshad Mehta really changed things in multiple ways. I mean, one sort of related area, I was working in advertising at that time in Lintas. And and in fact, the unit I was working for had been told to pitch for this obscure financial company. We didn't know anything about it. And then we met this guy called Harshad. And one of my colleagues, was more senior to me, went to meet him. And he told her that, I will give you, and he showed her the money. He said, this is the money I can give you, but I want an ad across India tomorrow. Now, that was logistically almost impossible. But two colleagues of mine actually went and came up with that famous Harshad Mehta is a liar ad. And, it was quite incredible. I mean, basically, all the work in the ad agency across all divisions stopped. And everybody, the whole agency swung into action to get this. People were actually physically put on planes to different cities to give the ads to the newspapers. It was actually incredible. And sure enough, I mean, we got, and that was when we realized that this man was thinking on a different level altogether. It's another matter that after the scam broke and etc., Alec Padamsi actually did a reverse operation. He got all the original ads taken back and destroyed because he didn't want the Lintas associated with it. But that's an example of how Harshad Mehta really, shook things up.
Interesting. Nice point that Vikram. Thank you for sharing that.
Can I share an Ajit joke
Yes.
about Harshad
Bolo,
Mehta?
just tell.
There was a joke in those days. Harshad Mehta's company was called Grow More, right?
Yes.
So they said, Ajit says, इसको हर्षद poison पिला दो, ये Grow More से no more हो जाएगा.
Oh, God. I think Yatin has something to add, a fun fact.
Yes, Yatin, could you like to share?
Yeah, so the top four actors, Pratik, his brother Hemant Kher, who has played his brother, then Chirag and Jay Upadhyay. They are best friends from the theater. They are best friends from last 15 years, and you can see the chemistry. Hansal Mehta and the casting agency, they hit a jackpot when they casted all these four friends together in the topmost roles. So you can see the chemistry between them in the entire series.
Ah, Thanks,
Nice.
Jatin. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's move on to the next question, Sai.
Sure.
So from Harshad and Scams, here it comes. So typically the financial year has 4 quarters. Indian financial markets have 5 quarters. What is the 5th quarter called? Okay. So.
Okay. Does anybody would like to raise their hands? Others will come to you. Okay, great. Rupal, go ahead.
This will be the festive season, like the Dasera Diwali belt, basically.
That is what specifically we were looking for, which is the Diwali quarter, also known as the Muhurat trading season, where we have that 1 hour special Muhurat on Diwali day. That incidentally was started by the BSc in 1957. And so Diwali quarter is what we were looking for.
Let's move to
someone
the next
has
question.
some points to add there.
Sorry.
Nitish has raised his hand.
No, Nidish was just answering the question,
just
so we
answering.
can move.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's try and get one more question in and move on.
Sure. We actually have close to 5 questions, so we can rush through. We have 20 minutes left.
Okay, cool. So ebony wood requires constant moisture so that it does not contract or expand. A particular structure is well planned. However, the architects had not imagined that the source of water to the ebony foundation of this structure would dry up. So which structure's foundation is under threat because of its water source drying up?
Someone said houseboats.
Ah, okay.
Specifically houseboats in Dal Lake.
Specific, okay. St. Mark's Church. Someone has written St. Mark's Church. Someone's written the Louvre for the India quiz, I think. Okay. Right.
Howrah Bridge, interesting guess.
Howrah Qutub Minar, Udaipur Palace, all possible guesses. Yes. So
Chetan, you want to go ahead?
Chetan has
Or
raised
Tanpreet?
his hand. Yes.
Tanpreet, could you like to unmute yourself? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Taj Mahal.
Tell us where you're from. Yeah, please.
Hi, Tanpreet. Where are you from? Do tell us.
Oh yeah, hi. I'm from Bangalore.
Okay. And
Yeah,
what's
the
your
answer
answer,
is
Tanpreet?
Taj Mahal.
It is the Taj Mahal, yes. So this is the Taj Mahal. And not many of you may know, but the Taj Mahal is built kind of partly on the bank itself of the Yamuna, where the river is. So if you, there is a side view of the picture which shows you this. There you go. So you can see literally it's on the river, and the bottom of the foundations were made of ebony logs. And the interesting thing is about ebony is that scientifically, it requires the combined action of water and air in the environment that can deteriorate the wood. But neither of these alone have the capacity enough to deteriorate wood. So if you have only water or only air, the wood would remain fine. It's only this combined change between dry and wet that produces the deterioration of the wood, and which is why ebony was used. And the Yamuna, which used to be totally flooding the ebony logs, would not damage the wood. But now because the Yamuna has gone down, part of the wood is wet, the other part is dry, and that's what's causing the deterioration. So that was my fact about this. And if the other panelists would like to add anything, you can add to this. Okay, any participants would like to add any fun facts? Sai, is there anyone?
Yeah, I did ask anybody if there are any fun facts about Taj Mahal, and Apu mentioned, do you mean Tejo Mahal? Yeah? That is not the kind of fact we're looking for.
Okay. So
Aditya, you want to share something?
Yeah.
Yes. Hi. So I just had a note on Taj Mahal's architectural design.
Yes.
If you look at most Mughal tombs, they'll be placed on the center with charbags all around them. But in Taj Mahal's case, it is one of the rare Mughal monuments which is placed towards the end of the charbag. This is because it's designed in such a manner that the sky behind it, it plays tricks on the background.
Very nice.
Every
Very
time
nice.
you look at it in a different weather setting, it looks different.
Ah, that's interesting to know, Aditya. Thank you. Does anyone know anything about the minarets surrounding the Taj Mahal, the 4 minarets?
Ramkrishna, I think, knows. Go ahead, Ramkrishna.
Ramkrishna, tell me.
I think this funda I heard from you only that they are. I mean, I think they're slightly slanted outward, so in case of an earthquake or something, they don't fall.
They don't fall on the monument. Yes, they can fall outwards, but not on the Taj Mahal itself. That's right. They're tilted slightly outwards.
Also, I think regarding Aditya's previous funda about the monument being at the edge of the Charbagh,
yes,
I think there is another part of the Taj Mahal beyond the bank of the Yamuna called the Mehtab Bagh, backside. So that is also considered, I think, overall as part of the Charbagh. So when you look at it with the Mehtab Bagh, the Taj is actually at the center. And
I see.
when people go and look at the Taj from the Mehtab Bagh, you can actually see the reflection on the Yamuna perfectly.
I see.
I have a fun fact about the Yanni concert that happened in 1997.
Yes.
One of the problems was the Indian government was saying was because of the impact of sound and vibrations that will have. So what happened was, this is where Yanni brought in a nuclear astrophysicist called Christian Hale, who was the head of L Acoustics. So they designed a speaker called VDOSC, which does not give vibrations at all. So it's a very interesting speaker concept which Yanni brought in just to ensure that no vibrations cause any problem. Even though it's pointed away from the Taj Mahal, they did one complete physics run through a tech run where they showed the effect of vibration and all the speakers, and a nuclear physicist explained the concept of vibration in the air to the Indian Tourism Department. And finally they said, okay, fine, you can have the concert. And it was a brilliant concert, yeah.
Oh, that was a fantastic bit of information, Bertie. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's move on to the next question, maybe. I think since we are running short of time, let's move on.
Yeah.
I'll come in 5 minutes.
Here we come. Who is excluded from these 2 villages? Dronagiri in Uttarakhand and Daitya Nandur in Maharashtra.
We've also given the reasons. In Uttarakhand, they hate him because he took away something from there and used it for medicinal purposes.
Yes.
Whereas in Maharashtra, they hate him, so-called, for being the right-hand man and not someone from their village. Okay, lots of correct answers coming in. Let's go
including Chota Rajan. Someone has mentioned Chota Rajan.
Sai, apologies. Sai,
Yes.
sorry, apologies. I actually have to leave slightly urgently at the moment.
Sure.
So thanks everybody. Thanks Navin. Thanks for liking, and I'll
Thank you,
see you
Vikram.
later. Bye.
Great having you here.
Thank you,
We'll
Vikram.
see you
Bye.
again. Bye.
Thank you so much, Vikram. See you. Bye. Okay, let's go to someone who's not answered till now. Go ahead, Aditi Merchant.
Yeah, is this Hanuman?
Yes, it is Hanuman, Aditi. Absolutely right. So Hanuman is, they don't like him there in Dronagiri because he took away the mountain with the Sanjeevani. And in Daitya Nandur, the village deity is a demon. Daitya, of course, is a demon. Nanba, who was jealous of Hanuman because he was a right-hand man of Lord Rama, and so he used to fight with Hanuman. So those are the 2 stories related to Hanuman and the Sanjeevani mountain, etc., and why he's not welcome in these 2 places. So, Archana, anything to add to this?
Yeah.
Well, I actually was, it's very interesting if you see how Hanuman is portrayed in the southeastern countries. So I've collected the Ramayans from all these countries, and if you look at it, for example, if you see the Thai Ramayan on which they have their Khan performances, Hanuman is basically the main person, and Ram is relatively almost like a figurehead. All the work is being done by Hanuman, and he has a very colorful character, which if you explore, you will see, he's substantially different from the Indian portrayal of Hanuman. And when I was very puzzled and I explored why it should be so. And then I figured out that the version which is now prevalent in Thailand was written by the founder of the Chakri dynasty in the 14th, 15th, forgetting 15th, 16th century. And he used to be a general. So at the end of the Thai Ramayana, they show that Ram says, since you've served me so well, let me create a separate kingdom for you and you can go and rule there. And he, shoots his arrow, which lands somewhere, and this Lavapuri is created. And that's how they consider the origin of Thailand and the Thai kingdom.
Ah, that was fascinating story. So that's why you said Hanuman is more of the focus there.
Yeah.
Ah, that's it.
So I think because he himself, he was a general who had supplanted the king. So,
Yes.
some projection happening there.
Any facts from the audience? Sai, could you invite anyone if they have something to add?
Sumukh has just raised his hand. Just give me a second.
Yeah. Hi, Sumukh.
Go ahead, Sumukh.
Hi, Dr. Navin. Yeah. Can I go ahead?
Sumukh. Yes, please go ahead.
So the only fun thing I could think of is like Dara Singh in his Hanuman avatar possibly was the only character who appeared in both Ramayana TV series as well as Mahabharata series in one episode. I'm not sure in the actual text, is there any specific character apart from Hanuman who has been mentioned across both?
That's a good point. Actually, Hanuman is one person who's appeared in
You
both.
have a couple of rishis also. I'm trying to remember, but I think there are some rishis.
Yeah,
both Ram and,
I think the rishis are floating around across both epics, I think.
I mean, you have 9 immortals, but I'm trying to remember.
But Hanuman, yes. That's true. Okay, so let's move on to one more question coming up. So after winning the Battle of Plassey in 1757, Robert Clive couldn't find a church in Calcutta to give thanks to the Lord after his victory. What modern day practice is attributed to this?
Just to answer Sumukh's earlier question about people who appear in both, people in chat have mentioned it. Parashuraman has appeared in Ramayana and Mahabharata. And Jambavan is also another name that came up.
Jamvan is there.
Yes, correct.
Great. Quite a few right answers. Let's go to, is the pounds closed?
Yes, pounds is
finally
closed.
pounds closed.
Yes.
Chetan, go ahead.
Hi, is this Thanksgiving?
No, this is not Thanksgiving. Not right. I know it is Thanksgiving weekend, but this is not Thanksgiving. Anyone else would like to try, right?
Yeah.
Sir.
Venugopal? Yeah, go ahead.
Is it Durga Puja?
It is Durga Puja, Venugopal. Well done. It is Durga Puja. And this is specifically the Durga Puja which is held in Shova Bazaar, as someone had mentioned, at Navakrishna Dev's place. So he was the munshi to Robert Clive, and Robert Clive was wondering how to celebrate this, and Navakrishna Dev said, let us do a Durga Puja. And they did one apparently very grand thing where Clive was given a golden sofa and there were dancing girls and stuff like that. So this evolved into something known as the Company Puja, which is the East India Company's puja as well. So, right. So any other fun facts from the audience regarding this?
Well,
Archana, Navin, have both of you visited the Company Puja Pandal?
I have visited the Navakrishna Dev's place, but not during the Durga Puja period. No, but I know they do have a very traditional version of the Durga there.
Yeah, I think they used to have these. There was this movie, Antar Mahal, I think I saw of Rituparno Ghosh, which was based where there's a zamindar who wants to make a Durga with the face of Queen Victoria.
Yes.
Which I think people did do things like that in those days.
One interesting thing I thought, Archana, was, this was the Durga Puja those days, this kind of festivity is a rather elite thing, all these zamindars and all that. And there was a group of these 12 people who joined together, ordinary folk, the common people, 12 friends, they call themselves Baroyari. And the Baroyari came up with this idea of the community Durga Puja that you see nowadays.
Okay.
Yeah. Incidentally, oddly enough, the community Durga Puja is now being taken over by corporates, etc., etc. Has become one of those excesses which we see, and has become literally like the elites, which was done. So a lot of money goes into the Sharad Utsav, which happens at that time.
No, also there was a descendant of Radha Krishna Dev, who was a very seminal anti-figure in the Bengal Renaissance, the guy who was ranged on the other side.
Okay.
I've seen a wonderful movie called Jhor.
Yes.
It was about Derozio, and Utpal Dutt played Radha Krishna Dev in that, where they show him fencing, wearing, pantaloons and whatnot. It's interesting.
Incidentally, the nearby the Showa Bazaar mansion of Navakrishna Dev, Robert Lai wasn't too sure about what food he's going to have. So apart from the dancing girls, which were allowed, there was discreetly food and drink brought in from the nearby Wilson's Hotel to entertain Lord Clive, who was seated on his golden sofa. So that was a little fun fact that I read. The origin of that is from a very nice anthology called Calcutta, the Living City by Jaya Chaliha and Bani Gupta. So that was some information from that. Sai, anyone from the audience would like to add anything to this before we quickly move on to one more, maybe?
We can do 2 questions and we'll do the scores.
Yes, we'll do 2 quick questions and get on to the scores. Okay, here it comes. Next question. How can one differentiate an African elephant from an Indian elephant using cartography?
I think someone looked at the photograph very carefully and said marks on trunks, which is an interesting case.
Okay. Are they 2 gaj apart is the question. So it's closed. So this is actually an example of a visual mnemonic. All of you may know mnemonics are used to remember things, usually as written words. But this is a visual mnemonic. So let's go on to the. Someone has answered. Why don't we try the answers from the participants?
Yes. Deepak, would you like to give us the answer?
Hey, Dr. Navin, how are you? Is the ear shaped like Africa for African elephant and India for India?
The right answer. Yes, well done. Well done. Absolutely right. This is the visual mnemonic. So for those of you, next time, if you look at these elephants, remember that the African elephants' ears are larger. They're shaped like the continent of Africa. And the Asian elephants, the Indian ones, have a ear shape that looks like the map of India. So that was it. Next question coming up.
This is the last question for today's quiz. Go ahead.
Okay. Agar Malwa is a town in Madhya Pradesh. It has a special animal sanctuary which costs 32 crore, 4,000 animals spread across 472 hectares. 650 of these animals have died so far. What sanctuary is this? Someone has tried crocodiles. Gharials, tigers, cheetahs, bats. We have all manner of Indian flora and fauna being listed there. Okay, so let's try some participants for this.
Akhila says Pokemon Go characters. That's an interesting sanctuary to have in India.
Okay, it's not the Pokemon Go.
Go ahead, Aditya.
Yeah, this is the cow sanctuary.
This is the cow sanctuary. Well done. This is the cow sanctuary. Can we have the answers, please?
Yes.
Okay, so this is India's first cow sanctuary opened in Madhya Pradesh. Interestingly, we were talking about cows being kept safe and banning of cow slaughter, etc. So we had a nice, interesting visual coming up next, which is one particular product which is suffering, this industry is suffering because of the cow ban, is this. I think all of you know what this is. So this is the Kolhapuri chappal. So interestingly, it's made of all leather. There are no nails or anything in this, and even the stitching, everything is made of leather. And so the dearth of the raw material is causing a problem to this particular industry. Another interesting fact, where since this is a very touchy subject for Hindus, cow slaughter should be banned, etc., was the RSS uniform itself. So the RSS uniform, one of the things in the uniform used to be the leather belt until sometime in 2011. I think someone came up with this proposal that you should not use leather, partly because of cows, etc. So the leather belt has been changed to a canvas belt, which is now part of the uniform of the RSS as well.
So, Navin, I'd just like
yes.
to say something about cows.
Yes.
We typically, you had cows in India, even in the Harappans, they had tame cows. And
yes.
I think they used to roam around on the streets just the way cows do in India today, because they found cow skulls in Harappa with haldi and other spices on their teeth.
I see.
So,
wow.
They were clearly eating food left out, even in 5,000 years ago.
Wow. Okay. Nothing changes.
Nothing changes. The more
immortal India is what I would say. And I think with those two words of immortal India, and we will always have more questions to mine for India quizzes for years and years to come. But this is the end of the third Great India quiz brought to you by India Wants to Know. And thank you, Vikram, Doctor, and Archana. Thank you all for being here. And all 73 participants is what the number I can see on this Zoom call. Maybe the others can join in next time, hopefully. Please do tell your friends to come and join us next time and spread the word around. So let's cross 100 for once, okay? And with that, let me hand you over to Sai to do the honors.
Thank you, Dr. Navin. It's been a very fast-paced quiz today. We have been running through actually 20 questions almost in today's quiz. Thank you, Dr. Navin. Thank you, Archana and Vikram, Doctor, who had to attend a particular event at his house. We'll just run through the scores of the people who got in the Jaldi 5 for the earlier questions.
Yes.
Right. For the best alternate fact, as we call it, the prize goes to Rupal, who said that who spoke about how a crocodile is used as a reference for social distancing during the pandemic, right? Best fun response goes to Kamya, who's been giving some fantastic answers in our previous questions. She said that Yama is the son of Surya. So was the question, the ordering of the question deliberate? No, it wasn't, Kamya, but thanks for noticing that. For the question on the Basmati GI tag, points and prizes to Yogita, Aditya, Deepak, Akhila, and Vadasari. Congratulations to all of you. On the question on the Chapra and the Red Ants, points and prizes to Ashwin, Sumuk, Nathan, Ankur, and Tanpreet. For the question on the Rasoda question, points and prizes to Tanpreet, Chetan, Subhajit, Aditya, and Ashish. And on the Kulcha question, Rupal, Aman, Sai Milant, Subhajit, and Venugopal get prizes and points. Congratulations to all of you. On the question about the Taj Mahal Hotel and the 1987 World Cup, points and prizes to Ekalavya, Shrikant Reddy, Salil Bijor, Anand PK, and Ashwin B. Congratulations to all of you once again. And on the question on Gandhi playing Gandhi or Pratik Gandhi playing Gandhi, points and prizes to Sumuk, Krishna, Aarti, Shravya, and Arun. On the question on Diwali quarter, Ekalavya, Shomik, Shrikant, Akhila, and Ramesh get points and prizes. And on the question on Taj Mahal, points and prizes to Sakib, Subhajit, Ekalavya, Aditya, and Tanpreet. And lastly, on the Hanuman question, points and prizes to Vivek, Mohit, Aditi Merchant, Nathan, and Subhajit. On the Durga Puja question, points and prizes to Anubhav, Venugopal, Sai Milant, Sakib Javed, and George Kuriakos. And the question on the elephant ears mnemonic, Akhila, Nidish, Deepak, Aditya, and Tanpreet get prizes and points. And lastly, on the question on cow sanctuary, points and prizes to Padma Shri, Ashish Jain, Drupal, Akhila once again, and Ramesh Natarajan. And for the best fun response, we give the prize to Yatin Sangoi, who said that, is there a Jain version of red ant chutney without onion and garlic? Excellent question, Yatin. And for the best alternative fact, points and prizes to Ankur Agraj, who said that Jamnagar connects Taj Mahal Hotel or Jamshedji Chata and the 1987 World Cup through Reliance. Very, very interesting fun fact, Ankur. Before we leave, a huge round of applause and appreciation for Archana, Navin, and Vikram for doing this on a Sunday afternoon. I know they have a very busy schedule, but Navin, Archana, and Vikram have been doing this purely because of the love of quizzing. For Vikram, it's coming back to quizzing after many, many decades, I think. But thank you, Navin, for hosting this quiz, and Archana for those wonderful stories and facts that you've shared.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Just one final thing to all our participants, that do leave your comments about this quiz in the chat box if you can. And if you have any comments on how we can improve this quiz, we would like to hear from you as well. So yes, all comments welcome. Thank you, Sai, and have a great evening, all of you.
Thank you, Navin. We will share the email ID for feedback on chat. In the meanwhile, you can also share your feedback on social media, on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Just one last small announcement before we leave. Next week, we have a very, very special quiz coming up on 29th November, hosted by Rohini Ramanathan, the famous RJ. You might have seen her recently celebrating the 25 years of Rangila. She's hosting a show that we call as Skip Intro Quiz. It's a show on Netflix and other OTT platforms, television shows. Please do join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. If nothing else, you can take back a recommendation on what to watch Netflix. Until then, we shall see you next Sunday. You can get your tickets on insider.in. This is me, Sai Ganesh, signing off. Thank you, Dr. Navin, and everyone else participating on today's quiz. See you next Sunday. Bye.
Bye-bye.